Above it stood the seraphims, each one had 6 wings. With twain he covered his face, and with twain he covered his feet, and with twain he did fly. Isaiah 6:2.
How do angels fly? Dr. Peter Kreeft suggests they move like electrons. Surprisingly, according to scientists, electrons can transition between orbits surrounding the nucleus within an atom, without traversing the space in between, instantaneously and without any time requirement. Angels also move in quantum leaps, akin to quantum radio rotations. This is termed quantum because it's like whole numbers. Between 2 and 3, there are no other whole numbers, much like there are no volume degrees between the second and third clicks in your quantum radio rotation. It's not a continuous progression. Since angels lack a body, they don't exist in the continuum of space and time, the material universe. So they don't traverse step by step through space and time. They appear suddenly like lightning. Perhaps it's too incredible to believe. But if matter alone can behave this way at its fundamental level, electron, resembling more pure energy than solid matter, then why can't angels existing at the highest level, pure spirit, do the same? The notion that angels move from one place to another without passing through space or time in between is an idea as old as St. Thomas Aquinas. In the 13th century, Mortimer Adler mentioned that when he explained St. Thomas' theory on how angels move to Niels Bohr, a renowned 20th century quantum physicist. Bohr was impressed and said, "That's the essence of modern quantum theory." So, a 13th century theologian had already uncovered one of the principles of modern nuclear physics 700 years ago. Nevertheless, we can assume that angels can fly anywhere without relying on wings. Moreover, most references in the Bible do not mention wings. And in passages like Genesis chapters 18-19, it explicitly states that no wings are visible. Angels can take on the form of a human if needed. How else can one entertain angels? See Hebrews 13:2. When angels appear, they take on a human form. In Genesis chapter 18, Abraham welcomes 3 angelic guests who appear as ordinary visitors like regular humans. In the following chapter, 2 angels go to Sodom, where they are also perceived as mere ordinary visitors. In the book of Daniel chapter 9, it speaks of flying angels, and we assume that wings are used for that flight.
Yea, whiles I was speaking in prayer, even the man Gabriel, whom I had seen in the vision at the beginning, being caused to fly swiftly, touched me about the time of the evening oblation. Daniel 9:21.
The speed that the angel Gabriel demonstrates to deliver the message is striking. He is commanded to fly swiftly, as noted in verse 21. Angels, as winged messengers, show rapid and immediate movement in carrying out the commands they receive. They run and return like lightning, as stated in Ezekiel 1:14. Sometimes they even appear faster than usual, executing their tasks with dispatch. This indicates that not only are angels commanded to fly swiftly, but they are also given the power to do so. Their actions are always carried out in obedience to divine commands and dependence on the power that originates from God. Despite their superiority in wisdom, they still fly swiftly or slowly according to direct guidance from God. This shows that angels, despite their power, remain obedient to His will. Seraphim and cherubim are groups of angels that serve God, and they have wings. For example, the representation of cherubim was made in the tabernacle in the wilderness. 2 golden cherubim were placed at both ends of the mercy seat, above the Ark of the Covenant, inside the most holy place. When Solomon built the temple, he made two cherubim from olive wood covered with gold, each 10 cubits high, with wingspans of 10 cubits each. The question arises, do all angels have wings? We cannot be certain. When some women came to Jesus' tomb on a Sunday morning, they found an angel had rolled away the stone covering the tomb and said to them, "He is not here, for he has risen," Matthew 28, 1-5. However, in Mark 16, 1-6, this angel is referred to as a young man dressed in a white robe, likely not depicted with wings in that appearance. Perhaps he seemed youthful at that moment. In other words, angels can assume various forms according to God's will. The Hebrew word seraphim is a plural noun derived from the noun seraph, with various meanings: venomous, fiery, causing inflammation, and venomous serpent. In the context of the angels, he conveys the idea of burning beings, possibly indicating their purity as servants of God around his throne. They reflect God's glory to the extent that they appear to be ablaze. This term is found only in the book of Isaiah, where we see spiritual beings serving God called seraphim. They are depicted as 6-winged creatures, using 2 wings to cover their faces, 2 wings to cover their feet, and 2 wings for flying, Isaiah 6-2.
Above it stood the seraphims, each one had 6 wings. With twain he covered his face, and with twain he covered his feet, and with twain he did fly. Isaiah 6-2.
It is noteworthy that it is an honor for the angels to be seraphim, possessing a brightness matching their radiance, abundant not only in divine knowledge but also in holy love. Here, special attention is given to their wings and not other parts of their appearance, as it signifies how they use them, intended to provide us with a lesson. They each have 6 wings, not spread upward as seen in Ezekiel 1:11, but 1, 4 wings are used for covering, like the wings of a bird when perched. With 2 wings above, beside their heads, they cover their faces. And with the 2 lower wings, they cover their feet or the lower part of their bodies. This speaks of their humility and profound reverence in serving God, for he is greatly feared among the holy ones. They not only cover their feet, the less honorable parts of their bodies, but even their faces. Although the faces of angels undoubtedly are far more beautiful than the faces of human children, yet in the presence of God, they cover them because they cannot endure the dazzling light of divine glory. Aware of the infinite distance from divine perfection, they feel ashamed to reveal their faces before the holy God. Even his angels are found astray if they dare to compete with him. If angels show such respect in serving God, how much more should we approach his throne with holy fear? Otherwise, we do not fulfill God's will as the angels do. However, Moses, when ascending the mountain with God, removed the veil from his face. See 2 Corinthians 3:18. 2 wings are used for flying. When they are sent to carry out God's tasks, they fly swiftly, Daniel 9:21, faster with their own wings than if they were to fly with the wind. This teaches us to do the work of God with a joyful heart and promptly.